2. All right. Good evening and good night and welcome to the It's Your Perspective Talk Show. It is Monday, December 14th, 2015. My name is David, a.k.a. Kimba, a.k.a. Christian. No co-host in the studio tonight. I just want to say that this is the It's Your Perspective Talk Show every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, weekly 8 p.m. until. We do have a telephone number tonight, 340-201-9005. You can also text us on that number as well. But most importantly, you have to go to our website, streaming live from the vi.com. We also have email, streaming live from the vi@yahoo.com. For our guest tonight, I think one of our guests has heard this before, but we are in the high-tech, low-tech studio, coming to you from an undisclosed location here in St. Croix, Virgin Islands. No radio, no TV, internet only, which means you have to get your Android, your iPhone, your tablet, your iPad, your Mac, or your Windows PC. Open up your browser and type in streaming live from the vi.com, and you'll be able to see the show tonight because we do have some special guests in the studio. I just want to say that all our recorded live shows are on YouTube and Ustream.tv. Just simply search for our channel. It's Your Perspective Talk Show. We have 2 Facebook pages. Definitely want to give a shout out to CHS class of 1982. That's the year I'm representing there. Special shout out to Vanessa, Julie, Sharice King, and most importantly to all our past guests. Thank you for coming on our show. We're up to about 250 shows now, so we're just blazing the trail, Hit us up on Twitter, VI Perspective. Tweet with us. Moving straight forward and up. The show's mission is just to inform, entertain, and empower everyone. And we have a thing here that's called Kind Words of Wisdom. I'll put you guys on the spot, but I'm going to give my kind word of wisdom first. And it's just simply that our prayers and His blessings equals one perfect love. And we do have some special guests in the studio tonight, so I'm going to put them on the spot real quick. There they are right there. You guys wave to the crowd. You guys are streaming out right now. Real quick, Saida, Carter, and Thaisis Francis, give us a quick kind word of wisdom.
Kind word of wisdom. May you be happy, may you be peaceful, and may you be free from suffering.
Okay. And Thaisis, kind word of wisdom from you.
Listen to your mother.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably the best one ever, All right, so here it is right here. Our guests tonight, Saida Carter and Thaisis Francis. There's a stage play that's coming here at the Complex in St. Croix, Virgin Islands. Complex High School, St. Croix, Virgin Islands. OUTCRY, a play based on the lives of Trayvon Martin and others. So welcome to the studio here.
Thank you for having us, David.
So I just want to get started here and just ask you guys, I know, Saida, you've been here before, and this is your first time here, but tell us what inspired you to do this stage play.
Well, I was lucky to get the playwright, Miss Francis, through the Caribbean Museum of Art, and she has come to work with my 4th period drama class since late October, mid-October. And it's been a wonderful experience. She'll have to tell you about the idea behind the play and why she came up with it. But I've sort of worked with her and, ushered my students into her care to make this happen.
Okay. So, Thaisis, tell us about it. You look fairly young, so it was the whole situation of Trayvon. I guess that had a profound impact on you, correct?
Very profound impact on me.
Okay. So tell us how this all kind of came about.
Well, I was a senior in college at NYU, and Trayvon Martin was killed in February. And when I found out that he was murdered, I was flabbergasted, and I realized that his death happened before and before and before. And so I wondered, why is this happening and how come no one is getting in trouble because of it? And then I wrote OUTCRY in response to that. So OUTCRY was really responding to the questions that I had, as in, what happens when you scream when no one hears? So that's like the premise of this piece, is what happens when you scream and no one hears.
So how did it affect you? I mean, the incident happened, and how did it directly affect you? I mean, were you sad, disappointed, angry, frustrated?
I was confused. That was the emotion that I had. I was so confused, and I felt very helpless.
Okay.
Which is something that I think a lot of people feel now, because this is like a recurring thing.
Okay.
And what I wanted to do was not get on the internet to talk about. I didn't want to make a status. I didn't want to tweet. I didn't want to do anything but something that can actually, tangibly, I felt, make a difference. And since I am an actor, the best ways that I can express myself is through art. And so I wrote this play, and then 3 months later, we put the play up at NYU.
Oh, really? Okay, okay. So you say you're an actor, so you went to school for this? Some kind of acting school, I guess?
I did, yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. So is this your first play?
Yes.
Okay, this is your first play since finishing school? Okay.
No. Well, this is the first play I've written
Okay.
since school, but I've been in many plays before.
Okay, okay, good, good, good. So can you name drop a play or two that you've been in?
Sure. I've been in a lot of Shakespeare plays.
Okay.
I did a play called What of the Night in New York. It premiered off Broadway. I did a play called The Kink in My Hair, which it's a Canadian play, actually.
Okay.
But they did it at my school, and then the playwright took us on tour with it
Okay.
in the U.S. and then at
Okay.
in Canada. But
Okay.
I also do a lot of film
All right, okay.
work as well. That's my more chosen medium.
Okay. So how did you guys link up?
I have the first drama class that the complex has had in about 10 years. I've been doing a drama club, and I am a speech teacher at the complex.
Okay.
And I've just always been a theater person. I lived in New York for 14 years, and I did a lot of theater. So when I first got home 3 years ago, I worked at the Caribbean Museum in Frederiksted.
Okay.
I ran a summer camp, a history and theater summer camp. So I had some cachet with them.
Okay.
And when they got a visiting artist, one of the jobs of a visiting artist in most museum settings is to provide some sort of service to the community or to work with the community in some way. So a young woman who runs that program by the name of Monica Marin, who's been awesome, she called me because we knew some of the same people, and she said, "Said, I hear you have a drama class this year." And I was like, "I know," and I felt so like lucky and excited to have a drama class instead of trying to do everything within the confines of the lunchtime club.
Okay.
She said, "Well, we're getting a visiting artist. She's a young woman. She has a play that's based on Trayvon Martin." I was like, "Yes, keep talking." And then she offered Miss Francis to come to the complex and work with our students. And initially we thought we'd try to maybe do some scenes from it or a talk back, or we didn't know how much we could really accomplish. And in talking to one another and in seeing the strength of my students, we're like, let's just do a whole real full production.
Okay.
And it's been awesome.
So you guys just met then? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But
So-
we have a gang now. A gang of 2.
Okay.
So we both have 2 nose rings. So we have the 4 nose ring gang.
Okay. So how you like St. Croix?
I love it.
So this is your first time
Virgin
here?
Islands is so nice.
First time here?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
It is my first time. I want to live here. I want to buy some land and like have somebody else build a house.
Okay. 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 So tell us a little bit about the play OUTCRY. So it's a play that you're going to have students here that are acting in it.
They're all new actors. Most of them had never set foot on a stage.
It's awesome. It's so awesome because sometimes it's uncomfortable and awkward for them, but they still do it. And I'm so pleased because I know what it's like to work with actors, and even they're like, okay, but we'll do it because we're acting. But they have to like hug each other and look into each other's eyes for certain exercises, and I know that's uncomfortable, and they're like, this is weird, this is uncomfortable, but then they do it.
Okay.
And it's inspiring to me Because it's great to see. It's great to see that if we plant a seed or if we provide an opportunity, they will rise to the occasion.
Okay.
And that is something that I'm so happy about, is that they are rising to the occasion.
Okay. So you've done this play before? I mean,
I have.
Okay. So what do you go in a California, you get students from a high school there to do it, or how does that work?
This is my first time having done the play with high school students.
Okay.
After I did it at NYU, it was picked up and it premiered off Broadway, and then some producers saw it. So whenever people come into the audience and they're moved by the work, they ask if they can then produce it for themselves.
Okay.
And as a result, I've had a few productions that way, and then I reached out to this university in Atlanta, Clark Atlanta, and they loved it, and then they put it up. And then it was featured in American Theater Magazine, which is one of the biggest magazines for theater in the States. And then, so I know that it's adopted and used in a lot of classrooms.
Okay.
To talk about race relations and how we deal with certain things. But this is the first time that I've done it with a high school.
So you had auditions, and how did that kind of work? Auditions and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was great. She came in. Well, before she came, my job as a teacher, sort of trying to always be sort of socially conscious as a teacher for 22 years, first thing I did was I set them in groups, and each group researched a different historical person that's in the play, because everyone in the play is some real person.
Okay.
So they had to do that research, and then they presented and sort of shared out to the rest of the class. And it was really an awesome experience, because some they knew, some they didn't know. And interestingly enough, I had done a big Black Lives Matter campaign last year after the killing of Michael Brown. So some kids had me for speech last year and then chose to take my drama class. So it was kind of a thing with me already.
Okay.
So the fact that Miss Francis got paired with me is some sort of divine something or another.
It's serendipitous.
Serendipity, yes. So they did the research before she even came. And as soon as she arrived, we did a cold reading, what's called a cold reading.
Okay.
So they read the entire play, took notes, commented on it, and then we launched right into auditions.
Okay. So when you say research, you're asking the high school students, did they know who Trayvon Martin was? Is that what you're talking about when you say research?
Well, you'll hear from Miss Francis some of the other characters, but yeah, they knew who Trayvon Martin was, I guess being that it's 2012.
Okay.
But they didn't know some of the others.
Okay.
The one that perhaps is most, not that any is more than the other, but I lived in New York at the time. The killing of Amadou Diallo was also featured in the play. And I was hooked up with some organizations that were really protesting, the killing of Amadou Diallo.
Okay.
So it was really great to share my perspective with them of actually being someone who attended protests.
Okay.
And who did this kind of groundwork.
Yes.
So they knew some of it, but there are just so many names.
Yeah.
I'm able now to give every student I teach a different name to research.
Okay.
And that's just so disturbing, David, and we don't know when that's ending.
Okay.
But hopefully the work that we're creating will create more dialogue and open up minds, so we'll take a few steps towards finding some sort of solution.
So who are some of the people that, some of the individuals that are being represented in the show? Trayvon Martin and who else?
There are 5 core members. Cast members. It is Trayvon Martin, Emmett Till, Amadou Diallo, Nicole Bell, and Mamie Till.
Okay.
There are 2 women. Nicole Bell, I'm not sure if you know, but Sean Bell was a young man in 2006 who was getting married, and the night before his wedding, he was murdered.
Yes.
And then there's Mamie Till, who is Emmett Till's mother.
Okay.
And the reason why I chose to have these 2 women is because, one, I feel like a mother is very important. She is the matriarch. She holds things down, and she gives a different perspective. But also, how does the family members react? How do they deal with what's happening to these young black men. And then Nicole Bell is in it as opposed to Sean Bell. Interestingly enough, when I was a student in college, I went to a predominantly white school, and all the other black men were in plays already. So I had to then cast myself. So I played Nicole Bell, and then it evolved in a way where it's like, well, I want this young woman who is the only one who's living, who I actually interviewed and spoke with while I was writing this play.
Okay.
I wanted her to have a voice to carry on. So that's who it is. The mother, the fiance, and the 3 young men who were shot.
Okay. Okay. So how long did it take you to write this play?
Not long, actually. When he died in February, and then we put the play up in May. So I think that's 3 months.
3 months, yeah, roughly. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I wrote it in 3 months, and we put it up. However, it has gone through a lot of changes and a lot of edits since 2012. It's still a work in progress. But yeah. So it took me 3 months, but it's still an ever-evolving script as it is still current.
Okay. Okay. So how, the high schoolers that are involved, I mean, give us a little insight. Are they excited to hear, this could be the launch of a career for 1 or 2 of them,
Well, what's great, they are terribly excited, and I think one thing that's profoundly important to note is that she's not much younger than them, and I look at her because I've been teaching.
She means older.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, you're not that much older than them.
Okay.
So I think that's impactful too. Like, hey, some of them have said to me, hey, I think I could write a play. And
Okay.
I'm like, yeah, you can,
Yes,
actually.
you can.
And just to not be afraid to step out in that way. So aside from the actors, every person in that 4th period drama class is involved in some way.
Okay.
Whether they're doing set design, costume, whether they are,
Oh, so the whole
hanging up posters. It's a total comprehensive model.
Okay.
That has consumed, and been a large part of much of the class this semester.
Okay.
And now I'll get new kids for second semester, and it'll just be like, there'll be no outcry, but we'll do some other important work because we would have now set a trend and set something in place.
Okay.
So every student is involved, and some of them were bummed if they weren't cast, but there's also a student who is doing all the choreography because there is dancing in this.
Okay.
There are some dance pieces, and all the choreography is done by a brilliant student who should go directly to some big name dance company because he's really fabulous.
So these are all students from the complex, or the
Yes,
other schools
they're
are involved?
all complex students. There is one exception. We did lose a Mamie Till. Grades and extracurricular were a little bit much for her. Things weren't really coming together, and her parents decided she should sit this one out.
Okay.
And it was sort of last minute, and it was kind of nerve-wracking. So I called upon a previous student who's a St. Thomas UVI freshman.
Okay.
And she's come to pinch hit, but she is doing a wonderful job as well.
Okay. I was on your website, and I see that in the press tab there, a lot of press organizations have written something in New York Theater Review, the local New York Times, TDF Stages. So I guess this thing is doing really well, Ms. Francis, really, really well. You excited, happy about this?
Yes.
Okay. So tell us a little bit more about yourself, Ms. Francis. You said that you went to school, NYU, and you studied acting and theater, I guess. But you're more like
Film.
Film, okay. And you've done some films. And what else? What else can you share with us as far as who you are and that kind of thing?
Okay. I am a young woman from Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay.
I spent, however, most of my life in the United States.
Okay.
Upon graduating from NYU, I started to dance at Alvin Ailey. I started just fixing what I originally wanted to be a dancer, but my parents were like, no, you're from Trinidad and you have to be like a lawyer and be like a real person. So then I switched from dance to drama because for some reason maybe that would be more of a thing, but it's not.
Okay.
But I graduated, I danced, then I started writing films, and I have a film actually. It's called Late Expectations.
Okay.
If you want it, it's lateexpectationsfilm.com to look at it, but I wrote that last year.
So that's on like in theaters, Netflix, Hulu. Where can we check that out?
It's doing the film festival circuit.
Okay. Okay.
Right now. So what that means is after we did it, it had its debut in Los Angeles. And after LA, I mean, it's been to so many places I don't remember, but it made its New York premiere in Times Square with the Urban World Film Festival. And it's been seen actually all over the country, and I know it's been in Africa, and it got into some places in India.
Okay.
And yeah, it actually showed me that I can do this.
Okay.
Which is something what Saida said earlier when the students were like, I can write a play. Yes, you can, because I didn't go to school to learn how to write plays, nor did I learn how to write for film. I actually just only went to learn how to act. But we are, as individuals, primarily for me as a black woman, I feel like we have a strength, we have a voice, and put our work out there and put ourselves in the work and put ourselves at the forefront of the work if that's something that you want.
Okay.
And so that's what I've chosen to do. So what else for me? I'm very much on a journey of discovering self, meeting new people, creating new work. So I'm in the beginning.
You met anybody famous in your travels?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to eavesdrop one quick name here?
No.
No?
I don't want to talk about the famous people.
Okay.
She doesn't want to talk about the famous people. She wants to become.
She wants to become famous. Okay, well, I think.
And then she wants to endow me to make more famous people such as herself.
Okay. So you guys tell us where, when, and how this is all going to go down. The dates, location, and all this stuff real quick.
Surely. We're going to be opening this Thursday evening at 7 p.m. at the St. Croix Educational Complex.
Okay.
And that showing will be repeated on Friday evening as well at 7 p.m. We are asking for $5 for all students and ex-students, like alum.
Okay.
And then, adults, $10. And that money will be used to just continue doing more work.
Okay.
Unfortunately, as wonderful as the complex has been in supporting me and giving this class, there's no money.
Okay.
So this will allow me to continue doing productions, and it just gives students the feeling of there's no lack.
Okay.
You can produce these things. There can be a budget set aside. They can learn about the budgeting aspect of creating a production. I really want them to learn everything possible.
Okay.
Like right now, we're going to hire a videographer, but in the future, I'd like a student to be the videographer.
Okay.
We're hiring a photographer to do some stills.
Okay.
That should be a student's job as well, because right now the students' jobs are profound. There's a student doing sound who's amazing.
Okay.
If I had my druthers, he's a 12th grader, he didn't really know what he wanted to do after high school, and now he's like, I'd like to do sound. And I'm really good at it, and he's amazing. And then there's a student who's being the assistant director and stage manager, and he's spot on as well.
Okay.
So
I don't know where I'd be without him.
Quite honestly, they give us the ease of just watching them make it happen, empowering them to make it happen. And that's got to be the direction that we take the Virgin Islands, empowering young people. There's too much old cronies and nepotism. And,
yes.
We're going to have to release the reins to young people, or what are young people going to end up having to do?
Yeah.
So,
Ms. Francis, are you you wrote the play? Are you producing? Are you directing any of those titles
yes.
involved in what's going to happen here Thursday and Friday?
Yes, I wrote the play and I'm directing it.
Okay, perfect.
Said is producing it.
Okay.
As well as the Caribbean Museum, which is where I have my artist residency. So they're helping me a lot in regards to making sure that I am doing my best as an individual on island.
Okay.
And by putting me in touch with Saida and Complex. So there are definitely great people who are behind what you all will see on Thursday and Friday at 7 p.m.
Okay.
And having had no budget, there have been people who have just generously donated. I mean, I put up a flyer at a gentleman's food cart, and I was saying, oh my God, I got to buy this, buy that. Where is this all going to come from? He just reached in his pocket, Eden Express, handed me $50.
Yes.
A couple of people who have chosen to be unnamed have given $200, $300 here and there.
Okay.
And having had no starting budget, that has made a wonderful difference.
Okay.
The Caribbean Community Theater allowed us to come borrow all of our costumes and lots of our props. So we feel very supported.
Okay.
And it just makes me hunger to keep it up and perhaps have her back or
Okay.
have other young playwrights back.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
People, what I always see is that people will meet you if you put it out there.
Okay.
And that is as exemplified through my residency on island.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. You guys okay?
Yes.
All right, man. We got to take a quick break. I'm getting a little thirsty.
Okay.
All right. So we'll be right back. Our guests tonight, Saida Carter and Thesis Francis. They're here. They have a play coming up Thursday and Friday here in St. Croix, Virgin Islands. OUTCRY, a stage play based on the lives of Trayvon Martin and others. So we'll be right back. Stand by. All right, we're back. This is the It's Your Perspective Talk Show every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, weekly, 8 p.m. until. We do have some special guests in the studio. There they are right there. Wave to the crowd one more time. You guys are streaming out. Saida Carter and Miss Francis, they're in the studio. They have a stage play called OUTCRY, a play based on the lives of Trayvon Martin and others. Welcome back.
Thank you.
So I wanted to ask you guys, let's talk a little bit more about, like the gentlemen you guys are talking about, Trayvon Martin's and these young guys that got killed senselessly, I guess is probably the best word to use for that. And I know, Francis, you were saying that you had an outcry. So tell us what does that mean? What does that mean to us when you say you had an outcry? Trayvon Martin got senselessly killed, and then what kind of emotions does that bring out of you?
Okay. So the emotion, it brought out a determination.
Okay.
That I didn't necessarily know that I had because I'd never had to experience something like this before.
Okay.
And what it also brought out was endurance.
Okay.
And another level of humility. Mm-hmm. Because Trayvon Martin is already old news. As much as we'd like to be like, oh, we'll always remember, la 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 la. Nobody's really talking about Trayvon Martin anymore. They might talk about him in February when it's his anniversary or when it's Black History Month in the States. But he's nobody's wearing hoodies and marching and tweeting. Mm. So to me it was all right, I know he's gonna be old news. Just like Amadou Diallo, they had a big they had Saida, she was there.
I was there. Yeah.
And they had these big protests. Sean Bell, they had these protests. Emmett Till sparked the civil rights movement, and we are no longer having conversations about them. So there's this level of endurance, determination, and humility because I have to humble myself to not be upset when people aren't necessarily into what I'm saying or wanting to talk about that.
Okay.
So I need to understand another level of, okay, how do I assess the situation and move on and not be upset that somebody felt this type of way? And then it takes endurance because I have to continuously try and continuously reach out to people, even though I'm getting a lot of no's because it's no longer the hot topic.
Okay.
And it's interesting that someone's life and their death is a hot topic, but that's the reality of the world in which we live.
Yeah.
And then determination, because, you know, 3 years later, my play easily could have been after the productions in New York.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't have to be seen anymore. But when you believe in your work, and more importantly, you believe that young black men should not be eradicated based off of their appearance or other people's suspicions, I believe in, you know? And then more importantly, I believe that people who kill them should get in trouble. That's the one thing that I can't get behind. Like, okay, we know crime happens all the time. There's black and black crime and these things. But when you kill someone and you get off scotch-free, or you get death duty, or you're like George Zimmerman and you can just like start tweeting and doing all these things, that's when I become like, well, are we still 3/5 of a person?
Yes.
As it was in the Constitution? Like, no, we are not. It's 2015, but there are a lot of similarities still. And I think, you know, as a person of African descent, and I believe so much in my people, it's like, well, this is me showing that we will continue and we can't just allow this to continue happening.
Yeah. And what about you, Saida? I mean,
It's, well, like she said, I've always been a sort of a history buff, even though I chose to be an English and drama teacher.
okay.
I was raised by a historian. History is like my thing. I should have probably been a history teacher, but theater and literature just seemed more fun and kind of easier in some ways.
Okay.
Because the hard-hitting facts of history, especially as related to people of color in the Americas, is rough. And that's my sort of favorite kind of history. I'm a slavery aficionado.
Okay.
I've studied and you know, read a lot about that. And so coming up, I couldn't escape it if I wanted to. And what's happening for me is I can't get over what it must be like, having become a mother 6 years ago, what it must be like for a mother to lose her child because of somebody's fear, you know, a fear that was set in place totally by like a D.W. Griffin Birth of a Nation movie, the fear of the black savage, or somebody's coming to get you. That's really problematic for me, and I don't think that parents spend enough time talking to their young people about the past, and people say that I have a sort of a, you know, disturbing or a sad view, but I don't, because my view is about our resilience, how
Okay.
we're even still here
Okay.
based on what has occurred, and we're going to keep being here, and we're not so easily gotten rid of, so to speak. Even this play has received some tiny bit of a ripple effect of, why are you doing this? This is going to cause race problems, race riots. It's going to upset race relations. You know, this is a Caribbean island. People are coming here for vacation.
It's Christmas time.
It's Christmas time. Well, the fact that it is Christmas time, if you're so Christian, then these boys, Trayvon Martin, should be sitting down to eat his ham and turkey with his family. Sean Bell should be fathering those girls that he left behind, you
Okay.
know. Amadou Diallo should be back building his empire back in Guinea after he came to the Americas and got an education. You know, people coming from all over, quote-unquote, third world countries to the United States. But there's a really ugly reality in the United States that is not addressed enough. And the way you change ugly realities for me is the active addressing of it.
Okay.
So I believe that racism is something that you have to actually undo.
Okay.
So I think putting it in an artistic piece of work, what Miss Francis has done, is the right way to address it. That's why we decided to institute a Q&A directly after the show.
Okay.
And the show is 1 solid hour. It's good work. It's 1 solid hour. It's moved me to tears so many times during rehearsal. So I can't imagine the actual production.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm first of all, I'm a crybaby, but you know, I it's a palpable, that hurt, that pain for African Americans, and I think having taught a lot of my adult life in New York City, where the NYPD are some real interesting characters who get off time and time again, and Trayvon Martin could be a kid I taught. You know, Freddie Gray, Tamir Rice. You're 12, you're playing with a toy gun, and now they're saying the gun wasn't even visible. The officers rolled up and shot a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
What's so menacing about a 12-year-old? Michael Brown, and then his body gets left out for hours. It has to be a race thing. It has to be something wrong with the way we're teaching our young people in America, white and black, and everything else.
Yeah.
Like, we've got to undo racism.
Yeah.
The fact that we have a Donald Trump running for president, my perspective is that is a lot of malarkey, that someone could be so racist, so mean-spirited, and have said so many unconscionable things and be doing well in the polls.
In the polls, yeah.
Like, I'm not quite sure what's going on. Are we a thinking populace, or is it in the best interest to make sure we don't think and make sure that we only consume?
Okay.
Go to Walmart, go to this store, go to that store. It's Black Friday. I can't get behind those things.
Okay.
As a person of African descent.
Okay.
I would say the play is not entirely dark. A lot of people might think, oh, it's going to be sad, I'm going to cry, I'm going to sit down and be mad at white people. But no, because as a person, I'm not very dark. So there's a lot of humor in that. There's actually a lot of love. You'll see that the mom comes through and she's like a mom to all of these kids. Because I wanted to highlight humor to show that these are young boys that laugh about things that 17-year-old boys laugh about and talk about. And that there's a mom, and there's a lot of dance in it, like Saida mentioned earlier. So it is a piece that is colored.
Okay.
It's not one-dimensional in regards to the feeling of it.
Okay.
And it's also experimental. So what you'll find is it's not a straight play, as it doesn't have like a beginning, middle, and end that goes linearly. Is that a word?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much.
So it's not like linear. It's experimental, and we merge realities. It happens in a space that is not, we can't fully define where it happens. So it's definitely something that we have to think as an audience, that asks you to think.
Okay. So what do you guys tell young people now in regards to the whole Trayvon Martin and the others? What do you tell young people? Maybe do you tell them not to wear hoodies? I mean, what do you tell young kids coming up, that they're 10, 11, 12-year-olds that, in a sense, encouraged to, after you do your homework, go outside and play with your friends. But what do you tell people so that they don't get caught up and find themselves kind of in the wrong place at the wrong time?
I mean, we need law enforcement, right? So I don't want to send this message to young people like law enforcement is your enemy. But you have to be mindful, and you have to be wary, and you have to know your rights, and you have to know how to assert yourself. Unfortunately, there's a sort of a dichotomy between what people think like an articulate person, someone who can explain themselves, versus someone who might be just fearful and mistrusting. So, not a matter of being assertive per se, but just knowing how to say, well, yes, officer, here's my, I am not going to want to be your victim now,
yes.
but in a way that's really savvy and intelligent, because there are good cops, there are good law officers of any race.
Yes.
I don't want you to just look at a white cop and say, that is my enemy. What is really our enemy is sort of the power structure for me. The way America works is what is enemy for me. And I think the more they know that and digest that and understand that, the more profound their work will be in terms of creating the life that they want for themselves. But if you want a snack, you walk out to get some Arizona iced tea and some Skittles, you want to be safe.
Yeah.
You know, why is the black body politic so menacing and so scary? It's perpetuated totally in the media, and it's a problem, and I want the kids to know how they're perceived. A lot of Virgin Islands students, for me being a teacher of 11th and 12th graders, they're just trying to get out of here to have a different experience.
Yes, okay.
And I say, you know, get out of here if you want, but you're going to want to come back. There's going to be something that you're going to see that you're going to want to come back, or at least have a pinky toe so that you can be a profound part of this community. Because of the whole brain drain and the bright flight that happens on small places. Like, I want some of these great thinkers, these young people, to return to the Virgin Islands.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Someone asked me, she said, why'd you come to the Virgin Islands? Why here? And, you know, I didn't know anything about the St. Croix prior to arriving, but now that I'm here, there's so much potential, you know, and I've been all over the world, and there's something to be said about this island.
Okay.
That I think is absolutely beautiful, and I feel like it's untapped in so many ways, and it just takes people to go, but then come back and reinvest, because the young people, all the people, well, I don't know all the people, so many people are capable if presented with opportunities.
Opportunities, okay. All right, great. So real quick, guys, tell us one more time the who's, why's, what's, and where's for this event coming up this Thursday and Friday.
OUTCRY, the play, is happening at the Complex Educational
St. Croix Educational Complex. It's long, in our auditorium.
At 7 p.m., December 17th and 18th. Tickets are $5 for students and $10 general admission. And we will be starting on time.
No cruising time, people.
It's New York. It's a New York time thing.
Yeah.
Just because it's they've put a lot of work into it, and they're going to do a Q&A after. So you can come to that, enjoy that, and then go on a next lime
afterward, right?
You know, so it's going to be great work, and the more people who come out, the more encouraged they'll feel for the next time.
Okay. So who's going to be answering questions? Is it the students that are in the play, or you guys going to be up there
We're
as well?
going to have a panel, so we're going to open it in tomorrow's rehearsal to choose for 3 students to volunteer.
Okay.
Who would like to be on that panel, and also Miss Francis as the playwright and director, and myself as the sort of quasi-producer and the teacher of the students. Because I taught them, you know, prior to her arrival, and when she goes, I'm going to have to teach them by myself too. So, but I think they do feel the heavy-hitting impact of this.
Okay.
And they're grateful to bring her work to the stage down here.
Okay. So, Ms. Francis, after this is done, what's next for you?
The universe is my oyster. So I hopefully will be shooting another film next month. I'm going to be working on that. My film is doing some more stuff. Hopefully I'm in the works to talk about some more things with my film that I can't fully talk about now, but hopefully another production of OUTCRY, and just creating more work and coming back to St. Croix. Okay.
Sounds like a plan to me. So our guests tonight, Saida Carter and Ms. Francis. I want to thank you guys for coming out. The stage play is called OUTCRY. It's a play based on the lives of Trayvon Martin and others. Come check it out. It's at the St. Croix Educational Complex here in St. Croix, Virgin Islands, this Thursday and Friday, 7 p.m. To 8 on time, military time, or,
Precision, not military. We're too militaristic.
Precision time, no cruising time. If you get there at 7:15, you've just missed 15 minutes of the stage play, and maybe you can catch up, maybe you won't, who knows. But try to be there on time, and after that, they're going to have a question and answer panel, maybe another 15, 20 minutes, and that'll be that for for that night. And so it's 2 nights, Thursday and Friday. Come out and support the high school students for doing this and everybody involved. Big ups to the whole crew there, you know. So real quick, I'd just like to always ask our guests, is there anything that you guys want to add to the conversation real quick? That maybe I forgot to ask because I am not a professional talk show host.
Well, you're doing a lovely job.
Yeah, you could have fooled me.
Well,
At
thank you.
250 shows, I think you're professional by now.
You're okay. Well, thank you very much. You know, I still get nervous, but hey, what can I say? But anything you guys want to add to the mix here in closing here that you want to add?
I thank you for providing this space for Virgin Islanders to come in and talk. I've seen many episodes, and just keep calling these names and keep strategizing how to stop this senseless violence that goes on between law enforcement and young black people in America. And more importantly and more topical sometimes is the senseless violence that goes on between us. Mm-hmm. Although people try to draw a parallel between those two things, they're not really related. Like, people might try to say, well, why are you mad that the cops are killing you guys? You guys are killing yourself. That's a load of malarkey and a bunch of nonsense. And the two things come from the same, for me, they come from the same paradigm of, you know, white supremacy, which for me is still alive and still well.
Yeah.
And will be up to not only people of color to dismantle, but for conscientious and forward-thinking whites to establish how are they going to undo racism in America.
Okay. And what about you, Ms. Francis? Anything that you'd like to mention, say, in closing here?
I would like to thank you for bringing us onto your show.
Okay. Well, you're quite welcome. Thank you for coming out. So I guess that's it for you, right?
Yes.
Well, thank you guys for coming out once again. It's been great. As I told you before, I'm going to get this up on YouTube, and then you guys can share it out and get more people tuned in to what's getting ready to happen here on Thursday and Friday here in St. Croix. But I just want to say that, and real quick here in closing, that this is the It's Your Perspective talk show every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, weekly 8 p.m. until. Our website is streaming live from the VI.com. We're in a high-tech, low-tech studio. We're on Facebook. Shout out to CHS Class of 1982. We're on Twitter. We're moving straight forward and up. The show's mission is just to inform, entertain, and empower everyone. And I just want to say real quick, too, that tune in tomorrow night. We got another super hot show. We got Harry Moe. He will be here. He was here some time back. He bought his guitar, and it was just a whole mad. He'll be here tomorrow, so we're looking forward to that. And I'm going to leave with the same kind of words of wisdom, which is our prayers and His blessings. You put it all together, you get one perfect love, man. So we'll leave it at that. We'll see you guys tomorrow. I want to thank our guests tonight, Saida Carter and Miss Francis. Outcry, that's the big stage play that's happening here in St. Croix Thursday and Friday. So on that note, we're out, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Harry Moe will be in the studio. Peace.